Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School, brought to you by Sand Hills Global. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big Ten Media Days, day number 2, Lucas Oil Stadium. Man, if you don't feel this is spectacular. I just came off the tunnel walk feeling like a brand new man. I actually got my luggage, got to change clothes.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, things are good. 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda Lincoln hotline. Come on in here, hang out with us, talk your talk. Add your comments. The video stream is up. Starter Heyman, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Twitter Live. You can get through. We'll take your questions. It's going to be an interesting afternoon. The weather here is fluid. Big nasty storm.
Oh, yeah, this morning.
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right by the afternoon, hopefully.
Yeah, so there may be some conversation about folks being able to get in on time or at all. We're going to figure that out as we go. Jay Foreman, the Husker Hall of Famer, who's been exceptional. He was exceptional yesterday. Had a good time with this, Jay. You brought the Hall of Fame yesterday. That was pretty cool.
No, it was a good time.
That was pretty cool.
Get to talk to some people and, see how they operate and stuff like that. It's a good experience for these players, and it's a good opportunity for the coaches to promote their program, promote their players, promote their staff, promote their school, promote their state, so I'm sure it's going to be more for a part for the course today, and it's the official kickoff to football season. I mean, I think Northwestern and Nebraska are either practicing today or very soon because they play earlier than everybody else, so they're on a different type of or assume had a different type of mindset than everybody else, but it's still right around the corner. And I think I talked to Tom Allen. His players get 4 or 5 days off. I think their last workout was yesterday morning, and I'm sure he came right in after that. And so they start practice, I think, Monday, report Sunday. So, the days go by quicker when football's coming. And, as a player, them 4 days go real quick. So it is here. It's upon us that, it's if you're not ready by right now, there's not much you can do to get ready.
Yeah, that in watching the coaches who are in season mode, right?
They all should be.
Right, they're locked in now.
Yeah, they should be all in season mode. Like I said, you see Tom Allen, he walked in. You can tell when he gets on the field, his excitement is there. So he's an energy guy, authentic guy, and everybody's just moving in their own space. There's some players that will try to, walk in with some serious swag. So it's good to see that. But then it's also good to see, how they move as a unit. I'm sure the players have been talking and wanting to do better. I mean, Brett Bielema and the Illinois Fighting Illini are just walking in. So they're trying to, improve on last year.
They look a little different, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean they're gonna this is his first year really getting in the program, and he had to really kind of make a makeshift type of roster and season, and exceeded expectations or met them. But I think he's a coach that knows how to operate in the Big Ten. He knows how to win in the Big Ten. He thinks he can win in Illinois. I think he kind of fits the Illinois brand, and then so it's going to be interesting to see what he does. And I think even last year, he wasn't an easy out. I think the big win for them was Nebraska. Kind of let themselves down the next week against University of Texas San Antonio, which is a good program. But then he pulled out that Penn State victory at Penn State. So he's found what different ways to win. Probably without the roster that he wants, but he's got a pretty good amount of decent players coming back. So, contrary, Lovie Smith had a really, really young roster. They're starting to become more older and more mature, and so I think Brett Bielema's staff is going to benefit off of that.
He comes in today, and he's got his crew. He's got a defensive back, Sidney Brown. He's got another defensive back in Jartavius Martin. And then he brought Chase Brown.
Yeah, the two, they're brothers. And it seems like they've been there forever, regardless of COVID. His brother, the both of them are very, very good players. The running back is legit. The safety's even more legit. And the fact that he has two defensive backs, that lets you know that Lovie Smith, right? Lovie Smith, and then to be able to run the ball. You always are going to assume that Brett Bielema is going to be able to find linemen, coach them up, and to be able to have some sort of running attack that is going to be able to shorten the game. The big question is what they're going to be able to do on the outside. I think their defensive line was decent last year, and can they improve on that? I'm sure they, dipped into the transfer portal, so forth and so on. So it's going to be interesting to see what type of scheme they run this year, because what Nebraska saw last year isn't what everybody else saw. It was a specialty game.
Mm-hmm.
They had the advantage from schematic standpoint because they were a new staff.
Yep.
And then they were a veteran staff to be able to adjust if or when Nebraska made some adjustments.
The schedule today is as follows, and I'll say it as scheduled. Again, with the weather, there's a thunderstorm in place. But early up, Jeff Brom from Purdue, then Brett Bielema from Illinois. Mel Tucker and the Spartans should roll in at about 10:30. Greg Schiano and the Rutgers right around noon, with James Franklin and the Nittany Lions. Paul Christ from Wisconsin, and then to close it out and run the ship, Ohio State, the Divas, the belle of the ball, the Kings on top will come and close the show. And it'll be interesting to play out. Again, we want to thank the folks from Gary Michaels Clothiers for helping make this trip happen. The folks from Ben Bleicher Professional Realty Group as well. Jay Foreman, we have to be honest, because the reason why you want to be in the space is to kind of take the temperature of the room. And for everybody else, and folks, no matter how you feel about it, the reverb and the echo chamber and the vault that we're in is talking about Scott Frost. Like, we have to be honest and say that the rest of the Big Ten media, they're offset a little by Scott Frost yesterday.
Yeah, a little, but I would say this, man, and be you.
Mm-hmm.
Love be who you are. You don't need to come here and change, and that's the way he wants to operate. Then so be it. They were on a tight schedule, so I guess that can kind of throw you off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, and this is just from personal experience. I remember I had we were playing Buffalo, and I had a couple penalties. One wasn't really a penalty, because I didn't get fined for it. One was a legit penalty. I guess I got caught. I was the second guy in a shoving match, but affected the outcome of the game, or I thought it was, and I was really down in the dumps, and everybody was, fire Jay Foreman, this, and this. But the one thing that my dad and my mom told me, it was like, negative publicity or any publicity is good. And so they're talking about Scott Frost, they're talking about Nebraska. And now, granted, it's probably, obviously you want to be in a different light, but they're still talking about him. So the best thing that eliminate any of the type of negativity or whatever that people, took as perception yesterday is go about your business, show up and do all the talking with your pads. I'll choose to look at it as and assume it's a focus and want to get to work. I think he understands the magnitude of this game coming up. You want to start your season off with a victory. Northwestern isn't going to let you beat them again 56-7. Both teams are essentially on the road. It's a business trip, like they're trying to say, It's a stressful trip. It's a odd trip. There's a lot of things that can get in your way of being successful. So, and he knows that there's a lot of on the line now. Could he, stayed up there, maybe had an opening statement. So be it. I don't have a big problem with it because I'm not the coach. I'm not his boss. Or whatever. So I always try to look at it from somebody's perspective that he just wants to get ready for football. And assume that was it. Now, if that wasn't it, then that's that's up for him. But
different conversation,
right? So I get it. People, it wasn't probably it probably wasn't the strategy wise probably wasn't the best thing to do.
Right.
Is it going to have an outcome on the season? No way. And like I said, I'm just going to assume that he's focused and ready to get ready for the season.
I wanted to ask Nick and Rico. Because the fan appreciation was yesterday as well.
Did Rico night. Dress up in his Husker uniform and get a couple autographs?
I don't know.
Because he fits the bill of a
punt returner.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if Rico sat there, especially if he's got the high fade cut.
Yeah, he would fit right in.
If he's got the high fade cut. Now, after they saw Nick's 400, they may put him in as a walk-on.
It could be like a fullback.
Squats. Yeah, Nick could be the picture of bring back the fullback.
If I snuck onto the field and sat at the table with the running backs with the jersey on, would anybody notice?
No.
Like if I talked to the running backs.
As long as you didn't wear your glasses.
Like if I talked to the running backs and I was like, hey, I'm going to sit here with you. Let's see how long it takes people to notice.
Yeah, I think that was it. I think that would be fair because the other players would treat you like you were one of them, which is a big thing.
Yeah. And all you gotta say, man, I just qualified last week, man. I'm ready for camp.
What's your 40 time, Rico? What's your 40 time?
Do you want my old 40 time or do you want my possible current 40 time?
See, Rico, what you do is you say your best. It's always your best.
4.5.
Yeah. See.
You fit right in, Rico.
Yeah, it's your best. See that you can say, they'll ask you, Rico, talk. What's your 40? What's your
4.5.
4.5 best.
4.5. I slipped at the start, so it's okay.
It's there. Now they would, they'll ask the stats. How tall, and what your current weight is. But Rico, what would you say?
Fluctuate, Rico. Just
5'8", 185.
There he is. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Rico. That's what I'm talking about right there. Little J.K. Dobbins,
right? There. Like that's pretty spectacular. that was.
Hey, Rico, man, what was the vibe back in Nebraska about the press conference? What was up?
The vibe back in Nebraska, really all I can go by is the Twitter interactions from everybody. And
yeah, I did see something, man. This dude Jeff Gambino said I didn't text a bit. Like, well, that's why I blocked you, bro.
Right. Like,
did you not understand why you get blocked? You DMing me stupid questions like, bro, I don't have time to. I don't even know you.
There is that line, isn't it?
Have I met you before?
Yeah,
no. Do I know you?
That
no.
line.
So why do you keep asking me questions and I'm not going to answer for you?
Yeah, that there is that line.
Yeah, it seemed to kind of split. The fan base kind of split between the lack of opening statement and, whether they felt good about it or bad about it, just one of those things. But for the most part, everything that the players said and everything Frost said in the side sessions, people are fired up. People are ready for the season. They want it to start tomorrow.
Well, I mean, that's it, right? Because your record, you're officially 0-0. Like now, you're not 3-9.
Yeah, everybody's
officially 0-0.
Right. You can go from 3-9 to 9-3 quickly, and everything that Nebraska has to do to flip that record. Let's just go from 3-9 to 9-3, just because it's easy, to envision. But everything that they need to do is all under their control. And that's the great thing about it. If it was a talent deficit, if they didn't have a quarterback, if they didn't have potentially viable running backs or depth at receiver or, guys that can potentially, step in. Now, the hard part is directing everybody in that direction, everybody taking that direction, and then the guys that have the opportunity seize those opportunities. And I think, if there ever was a year that a guy can go from third on the depth chart coming in the fall to maybe not starting, but splitting time. This is the year. And so if I'm a guy that say like a Jamari Butler, if I'm a Ernest Houseman, if I'm one of the multiple safeties that have been coming in through the transfer portal and a freshman or a corner or even a D tackle or offensive line, I mean, any position. I'm showing up to camp thinking I'm going to win a starting spot. And it's not only on offense or defense, special teams. And so due to make this season a success, which, somebody said 12-0, Scott, 9-3 or whatever it is, whatever the benchmark is. And my benchmark is in between 8 games to 10 is all under their control. It's all tangible. It starts today or whenever they start practicing. Ideally, it started a lot earlier than that, obviously through the summer conditioning and pushing each other, but, on the field, finishing every rep, paying attention in every meeting, pushing each other physically, mentally and spiritually, attacking each other when you're on the pads, but then also making sure you're taking care of each other, on the field. We don't need you, going in and cutting a receiver down by the knees or ankles in practice. Save that for the opponents. But being physical is something that they have to embrace, on a daily basis, even without pads. So, things are great, for them. They're on the same playing field as Ohio State. Ohio State they're going to be saying the same thing. They got to get off to a better start. They got to get off to a start when they play in their first big non-conference game. They don't go out there and lay an egg like they did against Oregon. Their defensive coordinator coming in with a lot of cachet and expectations because Ohio State always keeps the roster loaded, offense, defense, and special teams. So your job is to come in with, quite frankly, probably the best offense in the nation and still provide a legitimate stalwart in a physical, tough defense that can travel. That means you can play against Purdue in a throw it around the grass game. You can line up against Michigan and Iowa and be physical, and then you're going to have to go and do it again, say in the Big Ten championship, and then after that, you might have to play like a Clemson, Alabama, or whoever else comes out of there. So they have different obstacles in front of them or check marks that they got to hit, even though they're not in Lincoln and the Huskers aren't in Columbus. Michigan State, they got to get better on defense to where they're creating more turnovers. In offense, they have to get more explosiveness, more explosive on the outside. You lose the best running back in the nation, or one of them, that essentially calm the rocky waters and when you needed him, and he was explosive, home run hitter. Now you got to replace that, not maybe with one person, with two, but then with the production on the outside. So every team has question marks. Now, some people have more ready answers than others, but a lot of it's going to come down to, what happens when you first get out there on the field. I mean, everybody's 0-0, and that's not just a slogan. You got to go out there and earn everything, and that's the hard thing about the Big Ten, but that's the great thing about the Big Ten is that you got to go out there and earn everything. And, it was really interesting to me talking to different coaches, whether it was PJ Fleck, Tom Allen. I talked to Jim Harbaugh. I won't twice, one on the field, another one in another area where I won't add on to Jim Harbaugh
mystique and
quirkiness
right.
of that. But, it's funny when you just talk to him. And I played against Jim. I know PJ from meeting him, and then also he recruits a lot at my high school, and he's obviously coached a couple players that I trained. These coaches and Tom Allen, I remember talking to Tom Allen about how he came in and changed the culture really quick. They use assets. They use every asset that they can get a hold of to help them jumpstart their program or jumpstart their season or finish the season. Every asset. Now, that's every asset from, people that are donors, advisors, consultants, the little analysts or whatever, former players, media members. It's just interesting to talk about, when I see Ryan Day today, I mean, obviously he's going to be, here, there, and everywhere. But, one of my good friends is, You know, he does. I think Bobby ended up being here, but
he's in the program.
He's in the program, and he talks about Bobby talks about what his meetings with Ryan Day every week. You know, not every week, but it's quite often. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody moves. It'll be interesting to see, you know, what Mel Tucker says this year, because the spotlight's going to be on him. How can you potentially replicate or make last season legit by this team? It's a new team every year. Everybody has a new team.
Is that so? That is a good jump off point. And we'll get this, and then we'll go to break. Is Mel Tucker's focus carrying forward the success, or is he restarting?
Well, I mean, that's going to be. We'll see what he says. I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think the success from last year is going to help him reset. He can draw back on the tough times. Heck, you can draw back on the Nebraska game that he had to dress down the coaches to understand that we cannot go through the whole season and not be able to move the football. Nebraska played great defense, but ultimately, and the reason why I know this is because Tavares Tillman, who I played with, coached on his staff, he talked about that was a big turning point, and they kind of
at some point you've got to learn who you are,
right, and embrace it.
That's a moment. That's a moment,
right? It's a defining moment.
Yeah.
So that's if you go to Nebraska, I wonder what's going to be their defining moment, whether in camp or whatever.
I think we're going to know pretty quickly. I really think there's lots to talk about again. Live media days here from Indianapolis. We'll toward the break. We'll come back, go up and down the schedule. Tyler Olson, we see you. Thank you for your kind words. We're proud to be here, bringing you some behind the scenes conversations.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what's happening. And again, you got a full schedule today. We'll go up and down the schedule. Who's going to be here? Players that are coming, coaches that are coming, and some of the conversations we want to have. We'll do that next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hey dude, can I have the aux cord?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, do you want to play some games?
What? No, stop. I'm trying to drive.
Dude, Aaron wants to know what you're doing on Friday.
Okay, I'll talk to him later. I'm driving right now.
Did you see this thing on Facebook?
Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I gotta put you on Do Not Disturb.
Wait.
It's hard to drive with a bad passenger, so don't let your phone be one. Visit drivesmartne.org for more information. Brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office.
The days of internet contracts and heavy fine print are over. It's time to experience hassle-free service with no contracts or hidden fees. That's the Allo promise. Allo Communications provides fiber internet, TV, and phone services with fair and no-nonsense pricing. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 local support 365 days a year, and a monthly bill you can count on. Don't settle for gimmicks. Settle for hassle-free with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/hassle-free.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Back to old school with DP&J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
There they are.
Come on,
Yeah,
Rudy.
come on in
Come
here.
on, now. Come on,
Come on in here. Bring your brother in here, man.
Coach Bielma and the Brown brothers are strolling through. They look
Right.
good, man. They
Running
came
game
in
on people, man.
tight fits, right?
Yeah, they came in looking for real, man.
Yeah, young fellas. Okay, got the hair bun happening. You know,
They got to do what they got to do.
Brown
Usually-
with the
usually
good
I'm not a-
hair.
usually I'm not. Yeah, they got the good hair. Yeah. I'm not usually a fan of the man bun, but I know
Right.
the safety is a striker. He's not a hitter. He's a striker. That
Right.
means he strikes you.
right?
I will say this, man. When you do this business here, because it was Raymond and Lincoln,
Yeah.
and Jeff Gambino,
Yeah.
It's never personal when
Right.
you say stuff. This is the problem with you people that are fans.
Right.
Like, there's nothing personal.
Right.
So
Never is.
if I don't, if I meet PJ Fleck and I know his name and it says his name is Elite, like you come off like, you know what, like an idiot, right?
Right.
But professionally, you can't discredit what he's doing. And then personally, right, when he's a man of his word to a kid that I've known since he's been in 6th or 7th grade, and when he that kid who's Blake Cashman, who's now in the NFL, got his chain yanked by the previous coaches multiple times because he walked on, promised scholarship, didn't. First thing PJ Fleck does is hold his word. I can give him his props on that. So when you're asking whether I'm buddy with them, I could be buddy with people, but just because they introduce themselves, it'd be like, hey, my name is Black Shirt. You'd be like, dude, your name is Jay, right? So, or somebody comes and talks to you in the third person, right? That doesn't mean that they don't handle their business. So, for you fans out there, I can appreciate a coach and give him his props for handling his business. I'm not a Gopher alum,
right?
So it's not personal. I'm not a coach. I don't have any. My job's not on the line, and I don't got to coach against him. But I can respect his work. You know, I've said the same thing about Craig Bowl. Craig Bowl was a bona fide, you know what,
right,
to everybody that he coached while he was at Nebraska. He had a reevaluation process and a come to Jesus, and he obviously turned himself around, which coincidentally turned his career around at North Dakota State and Wyoming. There's not a linebacker that played for Craig Bowl that would not say the same thing. And it's got to the point where Craig Bowl called everybody and apologized.
Huh.
That takes a big human. So Raymond and Lincoln with the fake picture, you know, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
So you got what you wanted. And Jeff Gambino, you got blocked for a reason. It's so bad that you got to ask why you got blocked. I don't know you, dude. You know, and so at the end of the day, you know, this is football season, right? So obviously the coaches ain't going to be talking much because now I think only the coordinators are going to be talking. I don't even know what that rule is, but so now everything that somebody says is going to be, you know, hung up on it. Well, am I not supposed to talk to Paul Chris because I say he looks like a woodsman that he makes chairs
like
in his garage?
he gets it. Like they understand.
Paul Chris looks like I'm going to ask him if he comes over here.
Yeah.
What is your next project, or what
Like,
project
what are you building?
have going on?
Like, what are you building? Like,
and
we
you
know
what
you're
he
building
probably
something.
does. You know what and he'll probably say, you know what, I'll be listening to hip hop.
Right? Like, yeah. Well, we found that out yesterday. Barry Alvarez will tell you, right? He understands being in his space. He understands this space. He understands being at an event like this. He understands the connection between coaches, players, coaches, media, coaches, and fans.
Right.
Right? He understands it. And so when it's done right, especially at an event like this, and I'm just going to say it, if you had an event like this, I don't understand why you aren't open and welcoming to people. Like, because in the
Yeah,
end,
I mean,
in
you
the
gotta
end,
do it
you revisit.
You
In
got to
the
do it
end, you
within reason.
revisit.
I'm
right?
sure that my
You'll
man
come
over
back to
there,
it.
Brett Bielema, probably don't want to be sitting down with the whatever, right?
Well, look,
I know I ain't. I'd rather be kicking. I'd rather be sleep, man. I'm tired, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Here's my thing. If you come and sit down with the people who you sit down with, you traveled all the way to Indianapolis to only sit down and communicate with people that you sit down with every day, right?
Right.
You're missing it.
Yeah.
You're
I mean,
missing
look, like I said, man.
You're
people
missing
get all bent out of shape about it. I'm not bent out of shape about it. You know. Like I said, and I would never let personal opinions cloud support for the program or a coach. I won't do that. I look at like every university, right? And this isn't like, trying to throw a snowball and get you to, you misdirection.
Right.
It's no different than the world, right? Nothing is never perfect,
right?
You got to kind of find ways to navigate through your imperfections. Long everything is respectable and the communication is clear, then you're fine. But at the end of the day, I'm a former Husker or black shirt Husker, whatever you want to call it, and it's football time. I'm not losing any sleep that Scott didn't give an open statement. If he didn't want to give an open statement, I would have went up there.
I wasn't even talking about like
I would have went up there and did it.
Frost is his own thing.
I would have did the opening statement and said, "Listen here, we're coming for everybody here.
Pay attention
so
to it.
Everybody
right?
needs to be on notice. So
Pay attention
come August 26th." We're gonna bust your head open to the white meat. Because if I would have went up there, they would have been like, "Oh man, this dude up here is talking too much junk. They're 3-9. They're too confident."
Right.
So really, to be honest with you, and this is not making an excuse for Scott, I probably would have advised him to give him some sort of opening statement. Even if he read it off of like a cue card. Okay, that's the water under the bridge. But here's the problem with media, whether it's local media or in this case national media. If he comes up there and says, "We got to figure it out. We've made additions. We're gonna we feel very confident that we're gonna win the West." You know what they're gonna say?
You're delirious.
You're delirious. How could you ever think that you could be good? You need to just think about winning 6 games. Now, if he got up there and said, "Hey, look, man, we're just taking one day at a time. I hope to go out there and play well. The guys have worked hard, but we don't know what we got. We got 2 quarterback competition." If he did that, then he's like, well. Then people will say, "Well, what did he do all off season?" So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't.
No, but you could say what you did.
Oh,
if you
hold on, I'm just
giving his actually did something.
I'm just giving
actually did something.
His perspective, or could be his perspective. Good, because I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. So I got to make sure, DP.
Go
ahead.
What I'm
saying?
Go ahead.
That
Go ahead.
I don't speak for the university or a coach.
See,
I'm just giving a possible solution because I want to make sure that make sure there's one voice coming out of the locker room. So I got to make sure that I'm not a media member speaking for the team.
So let's say that it's as you said, there's Meatball State, like it's the head coach from Meatball State, right?
Right.
That I know what I'm doing. I know what I've done, and I know what I'm doing. Right. Even at Meatball State.
Right.
So when Meatball State meets the media, and again, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about any coach that walks in here today. They know what their situation is. They know what they've done. They know how they've improved their program, and they understand how they're coaching their players. Just tell me that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's for everybody that's going to walk in here today. Like, to get in front of James Franklin, how are your guys? How are you doing? How are you guys set for the season? What can we expect?
Yeah.
Like,
but
there's simplicity.
You can do that, but there's simplicity. But then there's a lot of times James Franklin get up there and tell you that they're going to be good.
If it's Shiano and he says, "You know what, Jay Foreman, we have put in work. I think it's good enough work for us to be in the top tier of the conference."
I get it, but
here are my players.
Here's
this is the guys who's improved.
Nebraska is an easy target. Okay, you want to know why Nebraska?
I'm not talking about Nebraska.
Well, I'm just going to tell you that Nebraska's teams. Okay, Nebraska.
I'm talking about them people up on the board.
Okay,
all them folks up on the board.
I'm going to tell you the easy targets: Nebraska, Illinois, Rutgers, and Penn State. Just because they're coached, they're easy targets, and it's for different reasons. Reasons are because they haven't won as much or performed as good as they could have or should have in recent or past years. So anything that you say in a positive or a negative is going to be overblown.
Right, you've earned that.
I'm not doubting that.
You've earned it.
So when you have coaches that have apprehension, or
wait
have
a minute. Wait. What coach worth 2 plug nickels is apprehensive?
No, apprehensive apprehensive to really tell you what's really going on, because Scott's got burnt by saying stuff, that was taken out of context.
Okay.
But
from your voice in this market, under these lights, under this amplification, there is absolute context.
Sometimes
sometimes it's recorded.
Sometimes
it's in your own word.
Yeah,
I would think.
But DP, these dudes are national media,
Mhm.
so they're here and they're making sure that they're getting their clicks up. So if he said, I think we're going to be really strong at the quarterback position, and then he went into how great 2 quarterbacks are.
Mhm.
They can cut the clip off, and then they could just run with it there and say he thinks he has the best quarterback in the.
But everybody here, the beauty of this is it's mass produced, mass amplified, mass reproduced, and you can go back and say, here's what I said. Here's what I
But at
meant.
the end of the day, his job as the coach, not to correct somebody that's supposed to be doing their job correctly.
Somebody else will do the correction.
No, because it doesn't happen. Because even with the Christian McCaffrey thing or Luke McCaffrey thing, that wasn't his quote.
Right.
Everybody knew who he was talking about. But then all of a sudden now you got the McCaffreys from all across the country all bent out of shape.
But then we're here to say that's not what was said.
But it's not that. But that wasn't done though.
Yeah, I mean, my thing
that's
is
where the apprehension.
We're going to spend the day today trying to track the rest of the Big Ten Conference, and my hope is, as players and coach walk through Radio Row, that they're willing to sit down and tell people who they are in their own voice, in their own words, right? And we know that there'll be some folks that say, no, we're going to be accountable to our local people first, which I get. Okay, cool. But then, let the people who can amplify the good in your program, Mel Tucker, like if you're going to sit with Mel Tucker or James Franklin, if they feed us good, what are we going to say? We're going to say something good.
Oh yeah.
Like that's how. Sure. Like that's all I want from this. Look, we get to see the players in their full form, authentic. We get to see them walk by, and you go, you know what? We can recognize a player when he's feeling himself.
Right.
That's why we're here. I want to see the coaches feeling themselves. I want to see the players feeling themselves. I want to see how they move. I want to see whether they're together. I love the fact that Bielema had his guys at the 20-yard line in the end zone taking pictures together, and they were playing around and joking, and that tells me, you know what? All the stuff that people talk about, they're actually doing.
Right.
So I'm looking at that program a little different. So we'll throw the break. We're going to come back more from the Big Ten Media Days. The folks are rolling in. The teams are rolling in, and we're going to have some fun with it today. Rico, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
They now have a Joe Coffee Club. Get unlimited drip coffee for just $8.95 per month. And don't forget their delicious breakfast burritos and sandwiches. Bagels and Joe, 4 Lincoln locations.
2022 is all about staying well. And guess what? There are lots of easy ways to take care of your mental and physical health every day, like eating right and exercising, taking vitamins, drinking water, scheduling those annual doctor's visits, or just resting. That's right, even a quick nap counts. Because let's be honest, these days we could all use a little more wellness in our lives. So stay well, Nebraska. For more ways you can stay healthy, visit StayWellNebraska.com.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go. Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Patchy areas of fog, then becoming partly cloudy with a high of 86 this afternoon. A light northeast wind at around 10. We'll see a chance of scattered thunderstorms this evening into tonight with a low of 66. Mostly cloudy skies to start the day tomorrow, then some clearing and cooler with an afternoon high around 80. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Back to old school with DP and J.
Welcome back, Big Ten Football Media Days here, Lucas Oil Stadium. DPJ, we've got the full crew today. Sipple's here, Sorensen's here, Strickland is here, Rashawn will be here. You got the full crew. Folks are starting to find their way in. And even though we're here, I would be remiss if I did not give the people what they want. I think we should give them what they want. And the people have spoken, and they want Rico.
I woke up this morning and I got out of bed. Had a big old cup of coffee to clear my head.
Get a Rico. Horns. Come on, Rico. Give it to me, baby. Get him. Get him. Finger point. Come on. Finish strong, Rico. Finish strong. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, Rico? What are we missing? What are we missing,
goodness
man?
gracious. This is
What
just
are we
going to be a
missing?
little breaking news segment.
Okay.
So a little bit of breaking news happened over the course of yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Julio Jones has signed with the team. Julio Jones is headed to Tampa Bay.
Of course they get a future Hall of Famer. Of course.
Tom Brady and Julio Jones, just like everybody wanted. Maybe not the place, but just like everybody wanted.
Of course. Another big vertical that he can put on a seam route and break up defenses. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Rob Gronkowski's not going to stay retired for very long.
No, not when he sees Julio Jones. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Healthy Gronk, Julio Jones.
Healthy Gronk and Julio Jones side by side.
Mike Evans.
Not cool, right?
I hate it. I hate it already. More football news. Chris Carson, the former Seahawks star running back, retires due to injury. He couldn't get healthy over the past couple seasons, and it's just not working out for him. So he's retired. The Seahawks are doing right by him, releasing him in some sort of fashion that pays him, I believe, the rest of his contract plus some extra millions, and gets him on the the NFL former players type deal where he gets paid throughout the years.
Well, good folks doing good things for good people. That's always a thing that resonates with us. We are satisfied by that. We're moved by that. Well done, well done. He's put it on the text line as though it's like off air, but Culligan J, listen, man. Yes, on the Beatrice Baker. He actually here's the text, and he asked about cake for his birthday from Beatrice Bakery. Yes, please stop by the station. Rico will take care of you with that. And then Friday, BP with DP. Strickland will run it. I believe either Nick or Rico will find their way.
Nick will be there.
Steve Taylor will be there. We will absolutely record Nick taking BP. Kevin Meyer will also take around. Culligan J, yes, you're invited, and bring your son as well to take BP at Haymarket Park tomorrow. And then tomorrow, Rico, you guys can give away one more spot to a listener, but make them work for it.
Okay.
Make them work for it. Like, make them do something good.
We can do that. It'll be
right?
fun.
Like, just say, make whoever's going to do a good deed, right? Something along those lines, right?
Sounds like a plan to
I
me.
think that's fair, right? That you're going to go and take BP. It's going to be, what's the weather supposed to be like tomorrow?
Give me 1 second while I check that.
Right? It should be good. Charlie Meyer's excited, so you'll be able to do that. I think that would be fun.
Tomorrow's supposed to be a high of 84. Friday's supposed to be also a high of 84. Partly
See,
cloudy both
so
days.
it'll be a great day for them to be able to do that. They can take batting practice and do their thing. That'll be fantastic. You guys will invite some more folks. If there are any giveaway goodies, tell Nick to collect them.
Okay.
And not take them. There's a difference. There is a difference. There's a difference. And then, Rico, during the happy hour, what I'm going to ask for you to do is for you to give away some more Beatrice Bakery. Can you do that?
I can manage.
Yeah, I think you guys will come up with a great reason to do it. It'll be exceptional as well. So, again, it's starting to fill up. The folks are here.
I also have one more piece of breaking news.
Please go ahead.
I don't know if anybody was still keeping tabs on Omaha Baloo, the number 8 prospect in the nation out of Iowa.
Sir.
He has decided on a college. Nebraska was in the running. Nebraska did not get his commitment as Omaha Baloo commits to Iowa State yesterday.
Ooh, ew. That's not good. That's not good. Can we get him to reconsider?
The number 8 prospect in the nation going to Iowa State.
Can we have him reconsider?
I'm sure they'll try.
Okay. All right. We're not happy with that.
TJ Otzelberger is kind of helped that Iowa State program from 2 wins the season before to
I just think that's different, right?
Decent amount.
That's a little different. So all of that in play. So good stuff. I have to give you the fashion report.
Ooh, okay.
The fashion report today is blue suit, brown shoe day, apparently. Okay. We're with a nice fit.
Mm-hmm.
We also have black suit, gray shoe. Two different teams.
Yeah.
But they are all suited and booted today. The brown, it's blue suit, brown shoe.
I do
Wednesday.
like the blue suit, brown shoe combo, though. It's a good combo.
Yeah, I mean they're working it well. The fits are nice. Some programs are a little more custom than others.
I'm a big red suit, brown shoe guy, though. Also,
I've never done that. Never seen it where I could recognize it.
It's a good look.
That's it. And nobody's done the Jersey walk either. So we haven't had any Iowas today. There was no, hey, I'm gonna show up in Jersey.
You sure Ohio State's not gonna show up in jerseys? You don't.
Ohio State's gonna come in with whatever they want. I would imagine. I'm surprised Ohio State don't come in with Ohio State suits.
I'm sure they have them.
They absolutely do. I have zero doubt whatsoever.
Who's the Iowa of the Big Ten East?
The Iowa of the Big Ten East would probably be Penn State, right?
Would it be Penn State? I was going to say, is it bad if I say Michigan State?
Well, Michigan State is we'll see. I just don't think Mel Tucker would kind of.
No.
Right? I think there's a little bit of different. If based on the coach, I would say.
Because the 2 furthest east is definitely not Rutgers or Maryland. It's not Indiana. I think you might be right. I think it might be Penn State.
Yeah, if anybody was gonna do that, that's kind of who I think that would be.
Although Iowa's hated by everybody in the Big Ten West, and if you go to the Big Ten East, who's hated by everybody, it's not Ohio State, it's Michigan.
Yeah, we try to figure out how it plays out, right? And who's first, who's got the personality profile.
The only team with yellow, I mean, it's those two.
Yeah.
Because Minnesota's is gold.
Yeah,
Purdue's is gross gold.
It'll be interesting. Or maybe, you know what? Purdue. That's who I put in there. All right.
All right, I'm back.
That's who I put
Jay.
in there. So, but because Jay missed it, we probably have to. Don't you think?
No. Rico thing. No. I'm out of here. No. This is ridiculous. This is horrible. I'm out. You know what? I'm leaving early. DP, I'm taking my flight as this week. This is I'm not doing it. I mean, you know what? I'm taking it. I can't do this, man.
We'll throw it to break. And when we come back,
I got bubble guts. I got bubble guts now.
The second hour.
This is ridiculous.
The second hour of old school.
Did you hear this, Jake? This gave me instant diarrhea.
We'll be right back,
Rico got to
Rico.
play his song. This is
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
The 2022 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you in Memorial Stadium this fall. A customizable Husker football 3-game mini plan is on sale now for only $180. To purchase your 2022 Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
Hello, everybody. Charlie Stone here. And through the years, as I've gotten to know Andy Goodyear, general manager of Honda of Lincoln, quite well, one of the things that I have really liked about Andy is you will always get honest, straight talk from him. Joining me now, Andy Goodyear. What's the latest news at Honda of Lincoln?
As I've said before, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you may not see the new vehicle you're looking for, but on the way, we have more than 300 new cars to choose from, so don't hesitate to stop in or go shop online.
I know that used cars are big right now. What can you tell us about it?
We have a great selection, Charlie. More than 125 to choose from. And what I want people to know is we sell more than just Hondas.
All makes and models, right?
All makes and models, cars, SUVs, truck, with fresh trades arriving daily. If you're looking for something other than a Honda, we just might have it.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger. Something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Trendy or traditional, Gary Michaels Clothiers specializes in men's tailored clothing. Off the rack or custom made to measure, there is simply no better shopping experience. Offering designer furnishings, sportswear, shoes, outerwear, and accessories for a man always concerned at looking his best. With world-class tailoring and personal service, all makes Gary Michaels Clothiers Nebraska's premier store for men. Come visit us now at Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln.
2-1 count, and that's a deep drive into the gap. Smith rounding first base. It's a stand-up double.
Hey, Nick, speaking of doubles, did you know Wings and Rings has 2 ways to enjoy their next-level food?
Rico, we're in the middle of a game.
The game can wait, Nick. One way is to stop by one of their Lincoln locations. They have 2 great locations at O Street, Meridian Park, and 40th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village.
You said 2 ways. What's the other way?
You can order online at wingsandrings.com.
2022 is all about staying well. And guess what? There are lots of easy ways to take care of your mental and physical health every day, like eating right and exercising, taking vitamins, drinking water, scheduling those annual doctor's visits, or just resting. That's right, even a quick nap counts. Because let's be honest, these days we could all use a little more wellness in our lives. So stay well, Nebraska. For more ways you can stay healthy, visit StayWellNebraska.com.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. This is Old School, brought to you by Sandhills Global. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves them, that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Day 2, Big Ten Football Media Days, Lucas Oil Stadium. Jay Foreman, the Husker Hall of Famer, holding it down. The rest of the guys are circling, getting information, hanging out in different space.
Right.
Trying to get information. Again, we thank the folks from Gary Michaels Clothiers and Ben Bleicher Professional Realty Group for what they do. We're going to thank the folks from Beatrice Baker. We're going to take care of some birthdays today to do that as well. Salt Dogs BP with DP Friday. Strick will run it, but the guys will be around there. Jay, we are here in this space. And again, here's the rundown with Jeff Brom from Purdue, Brett Bielema from Illinois, Mel Tucker from Michigan State, and then Greg Schiano from Rutgers, James Franklin round 11 Lincoln time from Penn State, Paul Christ, and Ryan Day. Here's the thing. Wisconsin showed up early.
Yeah.
And showed up in force, right?
The Woodsman is here. I don't know if his players are here. That looked like C.J. Stroud and all the Ohio State players. But, yeah, the coaches are going to come over and get it in. I mean, I just think it's just part of, what they need to do. Maybe if they can get all their stuff in, they can get out early. But, they're walking in. They understand it's part of the process, man. And look, I will say this. It's no different when people ask me about signing autographs or talking to people in public. When they don't want to talk to you, that's probably more of a problem than having to kind of set parameters. So I'm sure they have the rounds to do prior to coming out to the big stage, which is, Big Ten radio. I know they got to do some stuff for USA football, X, Y, and Z. So, and then they got to go from the big stage, go to get up there with the Big Ten crew, do the breakout session. So it's a long, morning for them, but, they just knock it out. It's something that when you're a head coach, it's just part of the stuff you do.
Does everybody? So everybody, all of today's teams have local media here on Radio Row.
I think so.
Does everybody want to talk to Jeff Brohm? Everybody. Does Michigan State want to talk to Jeff Brohm?
I don't know. I don't know what they want to do.
Everybody wants to talk to Bielema, right?
Yeah, or see if we can meet him and have a Busch Light.
Right.
Do you think he's a Busch Light drinker?
No.
Guinness.
He's a full IPA.
He's Guinness.
He needs something hearty, but
because you can see him walking around with the mustache.
He
or whatever.
has the coach's walk.
Brett Bielema's just whatever he can get his hands on.
Yeah, and I'm not sure
he definitely can. He definitely can eat the 96er or whatever it was from Uncle Buck.
Right? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He has the coach's walk. Jeff Brohm.
He's no nonsense.
Middle light.
He looked like red wine. He red wine.
Jeff
Brohm is red wine.
Mel Tucker.
He Hennessy.
Pure hen dog.
He cognac. He on that hen. I'm gonna ask him, what's up with that hen dog?
Right, like that's what it is. We don't think that James Franklin is a Hennessy guy, right? Franklin's a beer guy.
James Franklin doesn't drink. His body's a temple.
You know what? I can't even be mad at that. Like I could actually see that. But he hangs out with Alvarez a lot. Like so.
James Franklin is a red wine. Age.
Yeah.
Jeff Brohm is.
Yeah.
Age.
Yeah. Ciano.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Ryan Day. What does Ryan Day indulge? No. Like he actually.
Ryan Day, I think he just.
Right.
He does, but he doesn't have a go-to drink.
He's a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Texas is Bielema's Busch Light.
Yeah.
While floating in an above ground backyard pool.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's him. And he has a small one, so he's the only one in there.
just him and his dog.
Just him and his dog.
But his dog's on the raft too.
Yeah.
His dog's on. Oh no, his dog has his own raft and shades.
Yep. That's him.
Yeah. It's going to be that kind of day. I'm watching folks come through, and again, Jay, the blue suit, brown shoe seems to be the move today.
Yeah.
The tight. You're a blue suit guy?
Yeah.
Are you a blue suit, black shoe,
Both.
Suit, brown shoe?
Both.
Tie matching the belt or the shoes?
I have them all together.
Fully coordinated.
Yeah.
Head to toe.
Yeah.
See,
it's like a Batman suit. Just jump in and get out. I ain't changing whatever I bought. That's what I'm wearing.
There's a reason why you bought it, and you had something in mind. Here's the lineup: Purdue and Brohm, Durham. Tight ends coming in. Jalen Graham, their linebacker, kind of rover safety, and then quarterback Aiden O'Connell. Who are those guys, and what can we expect?
Well, Aiden O'Connell is one of the top quarterbacks. Obviously, Stroud is number one, but Aiden O'Connell, he could definitely tell you he's number two. I think Jeff Brohm feels comfortable with him. It seems like he's always had bad luck as far as the injury bug with his quarterback, but I think Aiden O'Connell's taking the reins. So I think, when you have a quarterback, just like Howard Griffith said, you got a quarterback, legit, you got a chance. I think their tight end is good. He's a big kid, can run, can catch, can block. They're not a real big downhill type of running attack, but he's still very effective in that area, and he's effective in, stretching the defense up the field. And then their rover kind of linebacker thing is just kind of their defense. Their defense kind of is a little bit like Indiana, but it's a little bit different because they had one of the best pass rushers in the nation last year. So that made their defense really, really good. But they have another pass rusher. He's number 44, I think. And then along with, their defensive backs, Purdue is going to, on paper, and from last year, product or productivity-wise, is going to be one of the better defenses in the nation. So, or not in the nation, but in the Big Ten. So I think this is a different year for Purdue. They try to be physical and fast and hit you and turn the ball over. You saw in Nebraska, they were very opportunistic and, willing to jump routes and sit on routes. But I think with Nebraska can adapt to that because they have a different passing game, different coordinator. So Purdue's not going to be an easy out. They're looking to make some moves and make some waves. And I think with their offense and the way Jeff Brom kind of runs it is always giving teams problems. If you catch them on the wrong night or wrong day, they will embarrass you. And because they are going to throw the ball, and for whatever reason, they're able to throw the ball pretty efficiently, regardless of the weather.
Yeah, and that Jeff Brom system, it's intriguing because he takes the layup. Like he'll get an advantage and he'll take the layup, and then he'll wait for you to make a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's Moore or Bell, he knows how to get him the ball, and he seems like he always has a guy coming right after the superstar. So, and they do a good job of developing their receivers, and obviously they're getting a ton of chances. So if you can't catch them and you can't run routes, you're not going to play at Purdue. So, they're always legit. He knows how to, schematically, take advantage of defenses. I think, for him, I remember, I think it was 2 years ago against Minnesota when they were on the wrong end of some bad calls. He showed the ability to kind of rebound, because that's a hard way to start your season. So I'm sure he's looking to get off to a good start, establish themselves, and then finish strong.
Is there that constant quarterback as a coach dynamic that offensively you don't find quarterbacks as head coaches who run first? They usually find a way to pick people apart.
Yeah, especially in his system. Short passing game, a lot of run after the catch, timing, put a lot of stress on the back end, put a lot of stress on the second level that you got to at least, try to knock them off on routes, and then not be too fixated on getting jams on them, being able to come out of your zone drops or matchup zone drops and be, very, very good players in space. So they stress you both horizontally and sometimes vertically. But when they have a special player like Moore and Bell, they can put up yards and points and bunches, and that's where,
How is that happening though? How are they getting the Moores on a regular basis? That's not exactly. I mean, is it Jeff Brom being able to sell that? Hey, I can develop you, I can produce you, I can elevate you.
I think now that's the selling part because he has two, obviously recent success stories. But I think he's looking for maybe a unique quality of athlete. Maybe, Wando Moore coming out was a little undersized per se, but he saw like this dude can really pick him up and put him down, make people miss. And so once you get into his system and you start to flourish, all your size deficiencies go away. So that's it. And that's what he does. He's not able to recruit the guys that are at the top of the list. He's got to find top of the list talent that don't have the top of the list measurables, and he makes them into pretty productive players.
It's going to be interesting. And again, as we watch folks come through and you're watching presence, all of that stuff is there. Behind that, you're going to have Rutgers and Giano. He's bringing in, and you ready for this? I didn't catch this. He's bringing in his punter.
Well,
he's bringing in Adam Carson.
Yeah, well, it's the punter is one of the most important players on the team. You punt a lot more than cover kicks. So, Giano, a big part of them being able to win 5 games and hold their head above water is special teams. When he was at Rutgers before, special teams. Specialty plays is what he's kind of done. And also the stuff to where, even when he was in the pros, swiping the ball at the end of the game. So every little play, there's not a playoff with him. Their punter is pretty good. And so that's what, he's going to give him his props that, he's a big part of the team. And also I think he's doing it, not that he doesn't have other players that are worthy or capable of coming, but what he's doing is he's letting you know how important special teams is to his program.
So he's bringing in Johnny Langan. Is he tight end 1 or 2 in the Big Ten? Right. I mean,
he's maybe 2, but
Payne Durham will be here, so you'll have that conversation.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else we like. Ohio State's tight ends are kind of a blend this year.
Probably Laporta and him.
Yeah.
I mean, from a productivity standpoint.
Because he's going to be – I mean, we know that Rutgers is going to use the tight end.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Oh, I had to hold that sneeze in. We know that that's a big thing with their offense, right? Run game, tight end in short spaces, move the chains.
Sure. I mean, that's what they do. And then, they hit you with some explosive plays. I wouldn't say trick plays, but plays that, they're setting up their potential of explosive plays. So, I think that, Rutgers is a team that when you go out there or they come to you, that they're going to compete. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be physical. And they're not going to most likely shoot themselves in the foot and just give you the game. So you got to go out there and earn it. And as they add to their talent pool, that's when a team like Rutgers with a coach like Schiano become extremely dangerous overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Like we've seen it. Like we 30.
Gonna replace Walker. Well, the easy answer and the known answer is you got a legitimate quarterback and a true number one receiver. Mel Tucker is going to have the offensive line ready, as they've said or you've heard in the papers, that they're going to be physical. They're big. So ideally, the easiest position to play, if you're a transfer portal guy or a freshman, is running back. And when you have a legitimate passing game, that makes those holes just a little bit bigger, a little bit easier to see, and allows the coaches to get you to focus on one little thing, which is obviously play your best in running back and bring you along, versus you got to be the 1,200-yard rusher, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, it as we sit here, it just kind of just lets me refocus. This is a talented conference. Like it really is. It's a
talented conference, player-wise. It's a talented conference, coaching-wise, top to bottom. They definitely would put their players, their talent, their coaches up against everybody else. So it's something that where there's no days off, no practice, no games off or anything like that, because regardless of the teams, and this goes for even Nebraska, where teams are looking at Nebraska, they say, oh, they were 3-9 last year. Yeah, they were close, but they could never win the game, X, Y, and Z. But the talent is there, and none of the coaches are going to be sitting around not improving or doing the things to improve your team. Nebraska needed to go fill some holes. 14 guys out of the portal, I think, or something like that. Other teams are doing it. Mel Tucker did it. So you got to make sure that you're, on point every single time that you are going out there to practice and play, because there is no days off. There is no practices off. And if you go out there half-stepping and don't show up there ready to play, you're going to get beat, and then you're going to get on the plane and think like, man, we lost to a team we had no business losing to.
And you can get embarrassed.
Or get embarrassed.
You can get embarrassed.
But at the end of the day, losing a game that you shouldn't lose is embarrassing enough. So that's why this conference is so good.
Then how does that play out, right? In a balanced, deep, right? I mean, it's, Ohio State's in their own space. Michigan State's lingering. Wisconsin, but folks are in a pool. Like, there is no game off, and there's no rest.
Yeah.
There's no rest. When every team in this conference thinks they can win every game they play.
Yeah, and they legitimately can probably tell you how they can do it. But at the end of the day, every game and every season and particularly the games, come down to a very, 6 or 7 plays that either go, you make the plays or you don't. It's the cause and effect. Everybody looks at, say, Jay Foreman gave up a 9 route. Well, that 9 route was either set up by my lack of execution 2 or 3 plays before, or a series of 2 before. So that's the cause. But again, those are the few plays that you go back and look at it like, okay, if we got that first down to extend the drive, to flip the field, they're not able to take a shot.
They affected you with run heavy to your face. They crossed you one time.
Right.
They put you under duress.
And you've been on your heels. And so then, then you get desperate. So there's a lot of things that go into it. And so again, in order to be very, very consistent, you have to be very, very consistent in making the game changing plays. And a lot of them aren't the ones that you see on the highlight tape. Now, conversely, how do you get better at that? Practice habits and coaching habits and all that stuff.
And competition.
And all that stuff is in there. That's what you're trying to foster right now. And then on top of, you got to be just solid fundamentally. So, but your fundamentally, when you're really good at your fundamentals and your physical, you consistently make the easy play look phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm sure that's a big emphasis, and then it's something that people got to, approach and embrace.
Make the basic play all the time.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's
and then the big plays will come right to you.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? And having people in position, the people who do the most work, right? The people who handle the ball. We always talk about the middle of the field. That centers do their job at a very base level, very high. They do the basic things very well.
Right.
Quarterbacks, listen, do the basic things well. Running back right behind them, do the basic things well. Defensively, your nose tackle has to be solid, sound, consistent. Middle linebacker,
same thing.
All the base. Safety, your playmaker safety at the back, the gatekeeper has to be basic, sound, and right all the time.
Right. I mean, that's the way it is, because in order to really unleash our pass rushers, we got to be really good on first and second down, so we get the third down to get them to the point that where it's not a manageable third down. And then we're able to get home. We're not having any secondary busts. We're not jumping a short flat route and when it's 3rd and 15 and giving a tight end dig up, and he catches it at 12. The safety's coming down. He gets that big first down. We're not, we get to the point that where we're not giving up the gut punch third downs and being really consistent and more than, say, like 50-50 on the third and manageable from an offensive standpoint. The whole game changes. The defense becomes more dominant. You get to do more fun stuff as far as blitzing and getting home. You get more sacks when you get more reps of rushing the passer. If I only get 2 legitimate times to rush the passer during the game, as far as, like, say it's 3rd and 8 plus, the chance of getting home now. But if I'm getting 4 or 5 times, then I got to get home. Then the onus goes on to the player.
As a linebacker, would you prefer having the 6 rep pressures, or would you rather have it be specialist, where it's 2 times where you're more likely to get home because you don't do it all the time?
I'd rather do it all the time, because the way that from that you can say, and this is even when I played linebacker, and whether we were blitzing up the middle or we doing run blitzes or anything like that, I'm able to set up specialty plays, blitzes and stuff like that. And I'm talking about from my position as a stand-up linebacker or second level behind the ball, how I'm playing you the first, like, 4 or 5 plays. If I come in and you're known as a pass rusher, you're essentially coming in there saying you're all-time pass rusher. Well, then they can do things and scheme up against you because that's all you do. So I think it's the more you do. Now, some guys are better at it than others, and you got to make some adjustments, and that's the way it always is and always going to be. But I don't want to be a guy that's, in for 2 plays, out for 15, in for 2 plays, unless I have to. Now, sometimes that's what guys need earlier in their career, so they can kind of take one step.
Oh, we got our answer, Rico. We got our answer.
For what?
Who was going to Iowa today? It looks like Purdue is going to Iowa today. They're coming.
They must have to, like, take a picture.
They're coming in jerseys.
Do they got to take a picture?
They have some in the back. They're taking some in the back when they go back to the VIP room. But to see players come through wearing the jerseys rather than suits
Right.
I just saw Purdue roll through. They're going to do their thing. So we'll throw the break. We'll come back. I want to talk with Michigan State and the players that they're bringing. We'll go through Penn State and who they're bringing, Wisconsin and who they're bringing, and Ohio State and who they're bringing, and they're loaded. So, yep, Purdue, totally Purdue'd. They're in jerseys and jeans. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Mom was always very organized, but my sister and I noticed she started to forget things.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan. My sister and I were there for Mom and each other.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Empire Fence and Netting in Waverly is now hiring for several positions. They're looking for a fence installer for both commercial and residential, for local projects, and ones that require travel. They also have openings for operators, dirt work, welding positions, and applicants with CDLs are very desirable. If you're looking for a locally operated business that provides excellent work for customers and great benefits and care for its employees, email info@empire-fence.com or give them a call at 402-682-7658. Empire Fence and Netting.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Patchy areas of fog, then becoming partly cloudy with a high of 86 this afternoon. A light northeast wind at around 10. We'll see a chance of scattered thunderstorms this evening into tonight with a low of 66. Mostly cloudy skies to start the day tomorrow, then some clearing and cooler with an afternoon high around 80. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Get it slipping. pick up the check. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Visit managerbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, Big Ten coverage. Media Days for Indianapolis. Gary Michaels Clothiers, Ben Bleicher, Professional Realty Group. Listen, 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text on Honda Lincoln Hotline. You guys can jump into the conversation, be a part of it as well. On the Starter Heyman video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter Live. We're up. Please jump in. We see you guys are active in it. Greatly appreciate it. I need their opinions. I need the opinions of our listeners. Is there, like at the 50-yard line, when the coaches walk out before every game, is there anybody that's staring down Mel Tucker? Right? Do you even look him in the eye?
Yeah, you got to. But do they even do that anymore? Because if I was a coach, I think I might accidentally kick Jim Harbaugh on the shin. Oops.
Right? Like, so.
Have me a cowboy boots on.
Right. So text line, let me know. Like, if you could walk out to the 50-yard line and shake hands with any coach in the Big Ten, other than Scott Frost, because we know that's answer one. But anybody else, who are you walking in to go, okay, I need some of this to rub off on me?
For me?
Yeah.
Either Ryan Day or Mel Tucker.
Right. Right. I mean, this is deep. Like, we get Tom Allen. We feel like, it's Uncle Tom, right? Uncle Tom Allen.
Tom Allen's right there, too.
Right.
Because Tom Allen's about his business, though.
Okay.
He's just different. Mel Tucker just got that edge.
So you see the fashion, right? The flair.
But everybody's got to put their jersey on.
But you see DB, right? You see Penn State.
That's
Penn State rolling through.
He live tweeting or whatever it is.
Come on.
That's you.
All
That's
facts.
why you like that.
All
got his hair
facts.
freshly braided up.
That's the.
He spent a little bit of his last little NIL deal that he did. He
Right.
got a little braided up. Got the shades on in
He
here.
got the $200. He got the $300 Italian tennis shoes.
Is that what those are?
Yeah.
Boy,
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I know, but I do.
I wish I was in college.
I'm telling you, like this is what it was. Yeah, Mel's in here. Let me tell you, Mel Tucker just walked in. I mean, I'm a fan of all these coaches for what they've done in the space and in their careers, right? Where you go, okay, this is exceptional. But heavens, the dude walked through. It was OG, triple OG. It was. I'm here for this for everybody. For everybody.
Sipple always. I just wish Sipple was here because Sipple would get scared. Sipple would come over there and say something. Mel Tucker would fold him up like a lawn chair.
Oh, that wouldn't go well.
Did Mel Tucker walk in like he's putting heads to bed?
He walked in with music, like he had a theme song playing behind him. He had a theme song playing behind him, bro. Like it like you.
He ain't taking no shorts, man. That's I think when you go to Michigan State, you really believe. Man. You really believe in that Spartan dog. That's what you really believe. You really do. And everybody that I played with, Robert Smith, Leroy McFadden, Plaxico Burrs, it's just Michigan State operates in a different mental space of being on edge.
Yeah, Claytonio John wants to meet PJ so he can trip him when he walks away.
All you gotta do is go up there and get on the 50 when he's running sprinting.
He'll come get you. Yeah, he'll meet you there.
But he looked like he in good shape, so at least he ain't gonna blow a hamstring out.
Look, bro, we like I said, this is why you're here, right? To get some of that vibe, right? So you can figure out.
It helps sometimes a little bit if you're evaluating a coach and a game plan. You can kind of put a little bit. Now, granted, they're not coming in and giving you a whole bunch of details. So if a coach stops by here, we're able to ask him or something like that. We're not asking him about the X's and O's. But what you're able to do is, at least what I try to do, is draw from the X's and O's to how they play or how they coach. And generally they go hand in hand. And so, it's just one of those things. I just think it's a new year. Everybody's excited. I think they've all kind of looked at their, eyesores from last year, knowing what they could, regardless of, like Michigan State, they won their bowl game, they, lost some other games, but they know that what they need to do to get to the next level. So it's, everybody has issues. It's just a matter of how you go about fixing those issues. And the hard thing is you got to fix the issues without letting your strengths that you thought you had get lessened. Because the strength can become a weakness very, very quickly.
From your coaching philosophy and space, is the off season about the things you do well or the things you don't do well?
Well, I'm going to accentuate what we do well for sure.
Okay.
And then I'm going to try to add more mass to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then my weaknesses are going to be addressed as well because I'm trying to add. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Came in the way he came in.
And I'm going to add, if I have 4 weaknesses, I'm going to make 2 of them my strengths, and I'm going to make hopefully the last 2 neutral. That's in a perfect world. It's not the way it usually goes, but that's what I'm doing. I'm definitely going to try. You got to improve on your weaknesses because if you don't, then you just kind of stay pat. You see a lot of teams like that that they're like Oklahoma. They're going to throw it all over the yard, do all that stuff, and then next thing you know, they can play with a 260-pound defensive tackle in the Big 12. You can't do that when you're playing against Alabama. So at some point in time, you have to address that without losing your identity, and it can be done.
It's obvious to me. And again, okay, so here's
it was a Kane and Pelly or whatever.
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Brother Franklin is in the space, man. Just put the hoodie on, man. Put the hoodie on. Put the hoodie on, man.
Is it raining outside
Put the hoodie on. Put the hoodie on. You just okay. We're blue and brown. We're blue and brown. That is everybody sent the memo.
That's the coaching suit,
right? That's
the coaching
right.
color.
That is the Batman suit.
Dude, everybody likes somebody in a blue suit, man.
Yeah, James Franklin came in. He's tight, freshly shaved. Again, it's a thing, right? We understand
like a diamond,
right? Right. We understand what it is. I think it's fantastic when we talk about who's here, what they're bringing to the table. So here's Penn State. Coach Franklin comes in. He brings Sean Clifford, PJ Mustafer, their defensive tackle, and Jair Brown, their safety.
Right.
You roll through with this one. Look, Penn State's not empty-handed this year.
No, I think they finally feel comfortable with their quarterback. So that's good for them. They got a big defensive tackle and DB. So what does that tell you?
Yeah,
defense is going to be strong.
There's the focus.
And then they just got to replace Dotson. And then they got to find a way to be physical in the run game and improve on it. I mean, they were one of the worst rushing teams in the nation last year and definitely weren't Penn State standards. Now, some of it had to do with having injuries on the offensive line. Some of it had to do with being young on the offensive line. All those things can be your advantage as you went through your offseason. Get healthy, bigger, faster, stronger, add recruits, transfer portal. So the things are all the tangible things that can be fixed, but the hard part is fixing them.
Well, I mean, every coach believes he can fix every problem, right? That's a fair statement.
Sure. Well, yeah, or else they wouldn't be coaching. That's why you have coaches that they know the players better than everybody else. They see them every day, so they know what they can do. Now you can go through a little down spell where you're not playing well, but at the end of the day, yeah, of course. I mean, that's why there's so many busts in the NFL draft. You have guys that have a lot of potential, haven't done it. Everybody thinks they could be the coach to get them to do it.
When you look at this, right, in the circle, which coaching staff gives you the vibe that they can fix this thing, whatever their thing was last season? Which coaching staff gives you the idea that they have a plan to make it work?
I think done right, and this isn't being a homer, if done right, Nebraska certainly can.
Right? Fewer things, small things to fix, big things to fix.
I mean, I think if you got something to fix, it's all big. There is no detail that isn't a big deal.
Fair.
Fair. But I think they can if done right. If everybody's able to do their job, and like I said,
that's a good look. I didn't know that those hoodies look that good.
I'm
upset. I'm upset I didn't get one. Like, I'm mad now.
Where did he get it?
Because you can order. we could, yeah. Right. Like I'm getting, then I got to get the hoodie because that looks way better than I thought it was on the mock-up.
Yeah.
That looks good. When we talk about reloading, readjusting, redirecting, right? A program that is sitting right in a perfect spot to once again win the Big Ten West is Wisconsin. They're walking in today. Paul Chryst brings in Keanu Benton, their nose tackle, their outside linebacker Nick Herbig, and the quarterback Graham Mertz.
Right. And they have the best running back in the Big Ten. That's not here.
Young dude.
Yeah.
That's how good they are, right? Yeah. That dude should be here.
Yeah, he should. But he's just coming off a freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
You got some older guys, and look, you got what they're. If he became as a fourth, then it would just be Wisconsin's going to Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Running back, defensive lineman,
Stick
outside
up the middle.
linebacker.
Yep.
I'm surprised they don't have an offensive lineman of some sort.
Yeah, we have not this year the Big Ten Media Days. We haven't had a ton of offensive linemen.
Yeah,
we had one yesterday. We had two yesterday.
Maybe that's just not what they want. Maybe it's something that offensive linemen don't like doing.
Well, I mean, but last year there was a ton. There was matter of fact, I'm pretty sure.
But it kind of goes with the talent pool,
right?
So, I just think it's one of those things. I mean, the Big Ten. Northwestern, their left tackle has been one of the best left tackles since he's been a freshman.
Right.
He's one of the best in the nation right now. So, of course, he's going to be here. He's probably their best player. So, just kind of depends on what you got on your roster, and sometimes linemen aren't as flashy as we've seen as the DBs and quarterbacks.
Let's go through it because the Buckeyes are going to roll in here in a bit. Ryan Day is bringing his safety Ronnie Hickman, wide receiver Jackson Smith, and why can't I say
Jigba?
And Jigba, I can't say his name, and then CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Right. So as they roll in again, known, productive superstars.
Yeah.
Right, and everybody's moved out of the way. Right, they're not even the defending champions, but they're the focus. They're the show closer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's it. They are who they are, and they're going to do what they do. They always reload, and they develop and reload at a magnitude that's, pretty impressive. So you got one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, probably the best receiver in the nation, and a player in Hickman that kind of came on late as a kind of Swiss Army knife player in their defense. Last year's defense that obviously he's transitioned into the new defense and has done well to be able to come here, and I'm sure he's going to be a captain. So Ohio State's going to Ohio State. The big thing for them is will that pass rush and defensive line get back to their standard, and the second level at linebacker has to improve. Like the way that they played against Oregon and continued to play at times was not up to Ohio State standard.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine Ohio State coming in. Coach, how you doing today? That as they come into this thing, that they've got bulletin board on top of all the talent and all the tradition and all of the success. They've got additional motivation. They've got additional stuff on the chalkboard that they locker room posters that they didn't accomplish what they
lost to Michigan, so it starts and stops there.
Right.
They're getting that reminded of that every day through off season, through team chats or whatever they do, X, Y, and Z. So they're in the mode that they have to, one, that's something that they feel like should never happen. They've had obviously success against Michigan, winning I think 7 years in a row. So they're looking for, obviously that's a motivation, but they know that they got to take the first game one step at a time. And again, the way that their issues are a little bit more high low than everybody else. When you're thinking about you need to get your defense up to national championship level.
It's going to be deep. We're going to throw it to break here and reset. Again, live from the Big Ten Media Days here at Lucas Oil Stadium, old school, coming back to you. We've got some stories breaking. Folks are coming in the door, and we're getting some first visuals on folks. We'll talk about that when we come back.
You're listening to Old School with DP&J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
I present the fruitcake. Long the subject of jokes, ridicule, derision, but did the fruitcake accept its place in the culinary totem pole? No! The fruitcake sought to rise to its full potential at Beatrice Bakery. Premium nuts, high-quality fruits, and the delectable trio of brandy, bourbon, and rum. Grandma's fruitcake is no punchline, but a decadent treat that packs a punch of flavor.
Check out Grandma's Fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Here's to days spent roaming and to sleeping beneath the stars, to casting another line and letting time float by. From Shadron State Park to Indian Cave State Park and every recreation area, historical, and state park in between. Here's to your adventures, your memories. Here's to going out and enjoying your Nebraska state parks. Plan your next trip today at yournebraskaparks.org. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back. Lucas Oil Stadium, Big Ten Football Media Days, and as the teams file in.
I feel like everybody's here. I mean, they got stuff to do.
Have you seen Ohio State?
Yeah, Ryan Day's down there. And then, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's down in the pool. So everybody's here. Everybody made it in. Everything's good.
Yeah, strategic. I mean, they assume they came in last night, so they be ready to go, and then they got stuff to do beforehand, and then knock everything out, so forth and so on.
As they walk in presence, you look at conditioning, what it looks like. Michigan State looks different. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they had a good offseason in the weight room.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody looks good, man. I don't think anybody's coming and not being up to snuff as far as physically. I mean, look, they got highly paid, weight coaches and stuff like that. They make sure they're in shape. So, part of coming here is you earn it. Is that you earn the right to come here and represent your program. You're part of Michigan State, as far as them in particular, you get to earn the right to go and represent, who you look, and you want to show up and look good. I mean, I didn't know they were going to be wearing their jerseys. So
I hadn't seen that.
So you want to make sure that they,
We'll take
look
Xavier.
well.
Yeah, we'll take Xavier.
So you want to make sure you want to look well in your jersey. So
Just 5 minutes.
everybody's good, when they come here, and they're trying to represent as much as possible, and it's good for the players. They get to build their brand and do what they need to do to be successful.
Yeah,
and,
it's now you start to the peacocking happens. Teams are measuring each other, see the players looking at each other,
right?
To see what's happening in this space.
Right.
It's pretty cool to watch. Like I said, you get to see all the players that we talk about, the ones we see in uniform, the ones we see with production, and then the coaches and their engagements with the players is important.
Yeah, I mean, because they're traveling together. I mean, it's a relationship. I mean, they always say you find out if you really like someone if you travel with them. So,
well, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it. Well, you get to, see if they're on time. Do they do, X, Y, and Z? So I think it's just one of those things that they, as much as and then the coach or the players get to be around the coach in a different environment versus player coach in the coach's office, in the weight room, X, Y, and Z. They kind of get to be around them in their own element, talk to them a little bit about other things besides football, about life, X, Y, and Z. So I just think it's a good opportunity for the players to get to know the coach and the administrators. I mean, I see a lot of athletic directors here. And then also you get the players or the coach to get to know the players too. They get to talk about some more, deeper things and kind of really see what they take. They can find out things about their team, maybe that they haven't been able to find out because they aren't there all the time in the offseason. Obviously that one of the most important coaches on your coaching staff is your weight coach or your weight coaching staff, because they're with them all the time. They're feeding them. They're pushing them. I know they changed it now to where you can coach a little bit more in the offseason. But at the end of the day, the head coach isn't able to be around, at least I don't think, as much as the weight coaches and stuff like that. So that a trip like this, especially if you have like all three different areas of your team, covered, and it necessarily doesn't have to be a specialist. You have to have, I'm sure there's players that are DBs, receivers, running backs, and linebackers that are, involved in special teams. So you're getting the vibe of the whole team, and you can get a good pulse of your team going into camp. And a lot of people are going to be starting here within a week.
It's also, as you watch all of this, right? It's the one time you get to see players in their own skin.
Right.
Like you in this look, now Michigan State's now doing interviews in their jerseys. But for the most part, they've got their own suits.
Right.
Them,
Yeah, they got them hung up or whatever. So it must be something that everybody's doing.
Well, I mean, we saw it. Like that's why the jerseys were being rolled through.
I mean, I'm sure it's a choice. I don't.
Well,
I don't think Nebraska did it.
Right. So there was nothing of this sort when you were playing.
They had like Big 12 media days, but
okay.
But it wasn't as big as this, and definitely didn't go down in their jerseys. I don't even know if we had a suit. I think we had like a Nebraska golf shirt and kind of figured it out from there. It was such a long time ago, man. I really don't remember.
Well, I mean, now with NIL, okay, so you see,
and now
the Buckeye jerseys.
And now I think that it's an NCAA rule where they can like gift you, or at least you can have a suit.
Okay.
I think I don't know all the rules, but
well, I know that Gary Michaels
does the team, so I think they all get
some team jerseys. So I thought that was a big part of it, right?
Yeah. So I mean, look, this time, advances every sport on and off the field. These kids have a tremendous opportunity to. Number one, the most important thing is education and football. But it's football season, so football is number one. And then you have a tremendous opportunity to educate yourself about branding, grow yourself as a person,
how it's done,
grow your brand, and set yourself up for your second life after football way more easier than I ever had. And so if it's done right, if they have the right people in place advising the players, helping the players, it's more than a recruiting tool. It's a when you talk about when you come to Nebraska or any school and we're creating a family environment, that's part of it. And if you're doing right by everybody from top to bottom, that's how you get that family environment. So it's it's something that has to be done. And I always say that, like, or VJ's on the phone, but it's like with VJ and stuff like that, that some of the universities that do the best job is they have a direct connection between every era to the current players. Because as much as people think that these current players don't want to know, they actually want to know.
Give them information. Give them access.
Because, I mean, we got a chance to get VJ in real quick.
Yeah.
You on the phone? But yeah, I mean, VJ can even talk about it from the players that he knew coming into Nebraska that helped him, and how that made him a better player. Now, did it? I don't. VJ would have to say whether it made him rush for 300 more yards in high school or have 10 more catches. That's the only thing he say. But when you have that knowledge, I think it makes you a better player. It makes you a better Cornhusker. It makes you a better mentor, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, ambassador to the program. So if VJ is going to talk to, say, if he's in the airport somewhere and he runs into a recruit that's going on there, and he could be on the way to another school, he can articulate himself to the point to where he can sell Nebraska and he knows what's really going on. And so, but if he doesn't, then you hit a little bit of a stopgap. So it's interesting to see a lot of some of the former players that are traveling with the team, doing TV and radio with the team, and the connection. Like Perry up there for Big Ten, he's an Ohio State linebacker.
Yep. He stopped by last year. We didn't get him this year, but he stopped by last year and had a nice sit down.
And so it's interesting to see how people are just moving. It's not just the head coaches and the players; it's the SIDs and stuff like that. And I know they're trying to, look, at the end of the day, they're going to take care of the local guys and guys they need to take care of. And when you're Ohio State, you're on. They probably aren't bringing a lot of local guys because Nationals there doing it and they're getting a lot of local guys. So we got Rashawn on there. So that won't work. Rashawn, we were talking about, as you hear and you look, and you see a lot of former players associated with the teams. And I don't want to speak for you, but I want to say, like, give your input from when you're a freshman and you meet an older player, and what we used to call drop the ism on you. So for you people out there that are Caucasian, it's called knowledge. Okay, when he dropped the ism on you, how that helped you become a better player. And it not necessarily with catches, yards, but a better player. How did that help you?
I mean, we can go right to the top of the tree, man. Trev Alberts. I mean, I was a freshman when he was a senior, and I had to go against him just about every day. And the fact that I was holding like a big dog. I'm talking about super holding.
Right.
And he would get mad and of course, snatch, pull, push, pull. But he would always talk to me afterwards and say, whatever you keep the intensity that you practice with,
do that.
Keep doing it.
Because everything else will come with it.
Everything else will come with it. And I took that and I watched Trev be an All-American. I watched Trev go to Indianapolis, coach 5th round.
Right.
And there's just some certain nuances that he taught me about being a Nebraska Cornhusker.
Right.
Meaning you play 150 miles an hour, balls to the wall every single down in practice, because practice is the precursor to the game.
Right.
And so to learn how they practice, to watch Trev go 100 miles an hour against me, he could have took plays off against me. He really could have.
Especially year one.
Yeah. Oh, I was a freshman.
Right out of high school.
I was a fresh fish. You know how much? See, when we came to Nebraska, you had upperclassmen like Raymakers.
Right.
You had some Perella.
Right. Yeah.
You had some real dogs that was white that would get in your face in a heartbeat.
Right.
Right. And I'm walking through. I remember I got hurt in the Shrine Bowl. I'm walking through, and they say, "This ain't South High, freshman. This Nebraska."
Oh, so they did.
Come on, QB. We're gonna set this up. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Rico, give the ID, and we're gonna stay here because we got a QB at the table. Let's get this done. Rico, give the ID, and we'll set it up for one-on-one.
All right, hold on.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You did? In high school. Really? Yeah. I love you. It's great. Yeah, man. I coached him. I've been following y'all hard.
He just moved in next door to us.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, let's get to it. Big Ten football media days. Let's get it. DP, Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. And as we do this, I get excited because I know their stories from a different source. It's pretty cool. I coached a teammate, so it's friends and family. I know who y'all are. I want to thank y'all for doing it. We thank Gary Michaels Clothiers. They're suiting everybody up, getting the thing done. Ben Bleicher, Professional Realty. All of that's good. Greatly appreciate it. And I want to ask them about their coach. Do not let me forget. Peyton Thorne is with us. We're here. Jaden Reed's here. How y'all doing, man?
Man, we good. Blessed to be here, man.
This is okay. So first things first, I'm gonna give you a shout out because you came in looking like a star.
That's that wide receiver swag, right?
Sure.
Right.
Receiver swag for sure.
This is it, Peyton. This is the thing. I have a guy that tells me all about you on a regular basis. Your work ethic, how much work you put in, how much this means to you. How important that's got to be everything that your teammates, the guy that you compete with every day and you live with, speak so highly of you. It's got to mean everything, right?
Yeah, that means a lot coming from a teammate. Because ultimately that's who you are. You're with every day, and so those guys know the most about you, and they can tell what's real and what's not. And so, if a teammate can say that, yeah, this guy, he works hard and he comes in every day and he's all business, then that's a very high compliment, and I'm thankful for that.
Gotta ask, y'all walk in with the OG, triple OG coach.
Oh yeah.
Talk to us about Mel Tucker. What is? Come on.
I gotta ask you, man. Hopefully I get to ask Mel. And I want to tell you, Tavares Tillman is one of my best friends. I know he left, but tell me about when Coach Tucker talks about you guys taking teams to deep water.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
Deep water, man.
But then tell me how that makes you feel, because you guys are going to go to a place that nobody else can go to.
For sure. We look at it as like, a year prior, we went 2-5, you know what I'm saying? We was in a deep place, the sunken place, and and then coming to last year, 11-2, which is a good season, but not the standard. We wanted to take teams where we've been, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Take those teams that put them where we put it through what we felt, and that's kind of how I look at it.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of how he try to lay it out, but that's how I look at it.
Yeah. So the backstory of the deep water is during a team meeting one day he turned the video on, and if I wish more people could see our team meetings, because Coach Tuck just he's got something that will get you fired up.
For sure, every time.
It's like every team meeting. We had a team meeting like 2 weeks ago where I was ready to go out and play.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of July.
Oh, yeah.
And so he turned on this video, and the video it's like a Nat Geo video, and there's an alligator swimming through the water, and then there's a cheetah, drinking the water.
Mm-hmm.
And he just snaps on a cheetah or a jaguar, one of the two, and brought him into the water and brought him into the deep water. And so that's where the story originated, because an alligator obviously lives in the water. That's his home.
That's home.
And
Exactly.
he took the jaguar, the cheetah, whichever one it was, and brought him to his place where that's not home for him.
Right.
He can't live down there.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what the message was with that is in our training. We got
to show them they don't belong here.
Right.
That's how you do it.
There's a huge bridge you guys crossed.
Right.
I mean, to go from where you were to 11-2 with a quickness.
No doubt.
What is the thing? Is it love? Is it passion? Is it knowledge? Is it work? What is it? How'd you cross the bridge? Because not everybody can do that.
I think there's a lot of things that go into it. One of the biggest things is your mindset, and so we talk a lot about the mental side of the game, but also just the mental side of competition in general, and being able to move past things, being able to handle momentum swings, being able to handle when something doesn't go our way, and then also when things do go our way. And then, just the work ethic in the offseason. Our strength coaches, I think, are some of the absolute best in the country. We love them, and we work hard for them every day. And then, it comes back to Coach Tuck. And when you believe in what your head coach is preaching, and you believe in him, guys are going to play hard. And then when guys believe in each other and the guys stand next to them and they truly love one another, you're going to play hard. And when you've been through shared adversity throughout the whole summer, you're going to do a lot for that guy. And I think that had a lot to do with our success last year. And then we believed in ourselves.
Mr. Reed, I want to ask you this, man. There's always a turning point in a season.
No doubt.
And it's whether it's a game that you guys, explode on offense or a game that maybe you don't play up to your expectation.
Right.
I want to ask you whether it was the Miami game where it was kind of your first big game down there in the heat.
For sure.
Because we interviewed on the Big Ten with Mel Tucker, talking about the stuff you had to do for hydration.
Mm-hmm.
But then you guys brought it to them and they tapped out. Or was it after the Nebraska game and where you guys came together and said, you know what, this isn't up to our standard, and then you guys just seemed to take off from there? Which one was it? Or was it a combination of both?
I think it was at the Miami game, we had a lot of people doubting us going to that game.
Exactly.
The odds were against us. And, we took them to the deep water.
Right.
We showed them that we're a team that can compete at any level, in the heat, in their house, in their home, in their state.
Right.
And, we took it to them. I mean, I think that's a game that woke a lot of people up.
Right.
And made us look at us completely different. Because a lot of people didn't think we were going to go in there and win that game the way we did. So
that was the origination of the deep water that week.
That week.
We had trained for that heat for
3 weeks. He said,
not just that week.
Right.
We had been training for that, and we said, well, we're not hearing about the heat. We're going down there and we're going to beat them in their own territory.
Right.
And obviously they're down there the whole year working in the heat, and we're going to say the heat's not going to break us.
Right.
And then we said, at the end in the fourth quarter, we saw them. They were tapping out.
Right.
Yeah. And the guys were subbing out, and that gave us more energy.
So no doubt. Yeah. We seen it visually.
Right.
You can
see it.
You can see it. Exactly.
We always talk about that when you look in somebody's eyes and you know where they're ready to quit.
Exactly.
Here's another question. Now you guys are out there on the national stage, and you're in a phenomenal position. You coming back as a starter. Going to take wide receiver 1.
Sure.
What have you guys worked on either individually and collectively, not only as a QB receiver, as an offense, to go to that next level? Because obviously you got to replace the running back, but having 2 all-conference quarterback and receiver, you're in a good position. You guys done in the offseason to keep it going?
I would say we just, run routes and everything, run routes on there and stuff like that. We do one-on-ones to, get timing right and everything with the quarterbacks and stuff like that. Another thing I think we're doing right now to build as a whole team is we do this thing the four H's.
So we got together as a team and we broke into small groups and we talked about, really it wasn't football. It was your 4 H's are your history, so basic history.
Yep.
Your hero. Who's your hero? Everyone's got a hero. 3, your heartbreak. So what's the toughest thing you've been through?
Right.
And then number 4 is what's your hope for the future. And when you learn those 4 things about somebody, you learn a lot about them.
Right.
Exactly.
And so we had a lot of guys that, really, share some deep stuff.
Yep.
And it's like, I had no idea that happened to you.
Yep.
And, it really shows the game of football and how guys can come from anywhere. Guys come from money. They come from nothing. They come from, being really good or maybe not being as good, and we have guys share, that every one of their best friends got killed growing up.
Right.
And we got some guys that share that I really haven't had much bad happen to me in life, but I've also had different battles. And it's like, everybody's gone through something.
Right.
And so when you learn those 4 things about somebody, you really, you care more about a guy.
Right.
And then when you're fighting for a guy who what he's been through, you're going to give a lot more for that guy than somebody you may not know much about. So we focus a lot on learning about one another. Yeah. And, I think that's going to help us a lot in the long run.
Peyton Thorne and Jaden Reed from Sparty. And you said a thing that lit me up the moment you sat down and you said at 11-2, that's still not the standard.
Yes, sir.
Whoa, buddy. That's when the work happens.
Yep.
So what's the standard? What's the expectation? What's the GPS?
The standard is the best of the best. The reason everybody's going into fall camp, working their tails off every day. And that's win the conference title and the national title. That's the standard. Win every game on your schedule. Man. It can't get any better than that.
Right.
So, we're trying to achieve the the top of the top, the best of the best.
Look, man, we know you're popular. You got stuff to do.
Right.
Thank you for sharing yourselves, your story with us.
Make yourself right.
Greatly
That's all it is.
appreciate it,
Right,
man.
Make yourself right.
Go do your thing, man.
Thank you,
Ghost
Yeah.
Party, do your thing,
Yeah.
man.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys for having us.
No, anytime,
Right?
man.
It's
Look at him.
Mark
Look at
Dog.
him. Look at him. Look at Mr. Brown. Look, hey, Mr. Brown with the good hair.
Right.
Okay, like this
Looking
is
like
the
a
meeting
model.
place, right? This is. I have to say, I don't know if players are getting better looking, but that's the thing that's happening, right?
They all swagged out. You know what I mean? My man got, they
custom suit.
Custom suits that
3-piece,
extra tight.
3-piece, extra tight.
They got form fitted suits that we were not wearing.
That is glorious.
Yeah.
Right?
You can see whether it is
Right?
who calls on his phone doing the phone in his pocket.
Yeah,
But,
Mr. Brown, he came in looking tight, man. No, that's a good deal around the way. Again, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Is to be able to get that sort of interaction
Well,
and
let
to
you
find
know
that sort of
that
insight.
when you see them play, and they're able to kind of get it going, and they're able to kind of push themselves through some adversity, you can see where it comes from. They talk about the 4 H's. Okay, the 4 H's coincide with taking them to deep water. If you know something about somebody and they need to take somebody to a dark place, and they've been to a dark place, you know exactly what's up. And so they're doing some stuff mentally for these players, that they're trying to get the maximum out of them, and they did it for their team as well. So their head coach does a good job of trying to get in their head and challenging them. I'm sure this offseason has been a challenge as far as the amount of work that they've put in, and it seems like it's all headed in the right direction.
All right, we got to toward the break. We because we got personnel, and again we're fluid today, so we'll go to break. We'll have 3 quick segments to close out one-on-one. We'll get that thing done. We'll be right back from Big Ten Football Media Days.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket's coverage of Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis is sponsored by Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group with BHHS Ambassador Real Estate and Gary Michaels Clothiers.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents